Welcome to Gary's Hobby Studio, and this is part 3 in my uh, new NAS for Proxmox. So in this one, I go over the installation, a couple of problems I had, and get it all set up, and show you that I created two uh, data sets for the VM storage and for backup. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. Here is the beginning of the third part of this series of setting up a new NAS for Proxmox. As you can see, I am in the BIOS screen. I already corrected the time, as you can see, or the time and the date, because it was definitely completely wrong when I got it. It was saying it was the 21st, then it was only the 20th. So the one thing you want to check, and that's if you're trying to do what I'm doing, running two NVMEs off of that board, is that you want to make sure bifurcation, and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, and if I am, I'm sorry. You want to go into chipset configuration. You want to go into your North Bridge, and it's for this particular motherboard, it might be different if it's a different manufacturer. The IIO configuration, and you want to come down to IIO 1. And you want to make sure that the first setting is either set to auto, okay, or you can set it to whatever you want. And as you can tell over here, it says, warning, please be aware that improper setting may cause PCIe devices to malfunction. And it shows you the different settings, 444, which is fine because I could put up to 4 drives in there and it'll automatically detect if I add 2 more in a future date, or it could go 448 or 844. There's a bunch of different combinations it shows, but make sure that that's set to auto unless you want to go ahead and set it to something specific. And also, if there's another one, check it as well if you might be trying to do 2 different type of cards with bifurcation, where it'll split the bandwidth per whatever's on the card, like in this case, NVMe drives. So it's all set to auto, so I don't have to deal with that. And that is for we don't want to do that just yet. I know I got to save some of the configuration changes. I also have to set the boot order too, and for some reason, I'm not sure if that's it, but I'm going to have to test it, and I have to plug in the drive anyways so that I can pull up the thing. So let me go ahead and get that all set up, and I'll be back. Okay, so got it up to Ventoy, and now we are going to have to use the arrow keys because the mouse doesn't work, which I'm fine with it. Okay, so this is the latest one. This is Electric Eel. Gonna go with normal mode and see what happens. I have not the foggiest idea why the hell this is doing this. All right, I will have to come up with a different way and come back. All right, I had to create a specific boot drive for this because it totally sucks. I mean, it works for some things, Ventoy. I got to figure out why it doesn't. So let's see. Yeah, see? This is what it should have done, but it didn't do it. Sorry, folks. I was sick just as the Monday that I'm the week that I'm filming this part, and for some reason I have no idea why I'm still sick. I mean, I'm over it, but it's hanging on. So let's do the install upgrade. Okay, so it's only detecting one NVMe. I have to figure out why it's only doing one NVMe. Okay, so unfortunately, it's still only seeing one of the NVMe drives, and I don't know why. I don't think they're both bad. But I did set it to auto, and for some reason, it's not seeing it. But as you can see, it can see the 4 Seagate drives because it's coming up at 7.28 terabytes. And so we're just going to move ahead. I'll have to either buy 2 new drives and do this all over again, or, just see what happens. I mean, who knows? So, all right. So we selected that drive. This will erase. Minister Unify. Okay, I have my the admin password set. This is just for UEFI. I think my BIOS is set for both, so it can go either way. Yeah, I'll just have to see if it happened, if buying 2 new drives. Like I said, it could be the one drive's bad. I have no way of telling without getting an external NVMe reader, which I may have to pick up one of those. And I think, because I don't need any bigger drives than 256 gigs or 250 gigs, because this operating system really doesn't take up a whole lot of space. Reboot and remove the install media. Let's see if it boots up from it. It'll be interesting to see if this actually boots up off of that card. No, my luck, it'll hit the drive that wasn't showing up. Okay, well, this is interesting. I can't get it to boot up off of it. Yay! Let me just try something. I think that's what it was that's the slot for the riser right there. And that's in slot 1. Let's try that and see what happens. Because it did ask about UEFI. We'll see what happens. Wonder if maybe USB hard disk. I know it sounds crazy. If this doesn't work, I'll have to research it and try to figure out how to get it to work. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure this out. Okay. And I figured out what was the problem after getting the new card from Supermicro. And what it is, you go into advanced chipset configuration, Northbridge, under the IIO configuration. You look for anything that's for the slot. Now, in the case of this one, it was slot 1, which is where I planted the card. So I went into IIO1, and that says PCIe port 2, which I'm thinking has to deal with the second port, because you could have a half-height card, but because of the way the CPUs are laid out, you can't, so they don't have that card in there. And I think that's what this was, and I think that's where my problem originated. So if I go into IIO2, okay, and it still says port 2, and still says port 3, but I set them both up because I want to say it was either this or it was in the IOAT configuration, which it's not. It was definitely in this because it had slot 1 and slot 2, but apparently now it's saying port 2 and port 3, and I don't know why. And I didn't want to take any chances, even though I have a fiber card plugged into it for 10G connectivity for Proxmox and stuff like that. But I set both of those because originally it did say ports 1 and 2. I didn't take a picture of it because I was just trying to get it to work. But you got to make sure that you change that to 4x4x4x4. The other thing, so that the system will see it, is you come down to the PCIe, PCI, PNP configuration, where it says NVMe firmware source. It was originally vendor-defined firmware. You have to switch it to AMI native support. And then we don't want to quit and save. If you go to boot and you want to change that, and still doesn't show that, which is weird. but it will show up, and I'll show you that here in a moment. All right, so we're rebooting, and I've got to get the boot menu up because I got to reinstall TrueNAS. Once I activated the other drive in the listing, it decided not to function the way it should. Okay. Okay, so do the install upgrade. Select those. Yes, we know it's going to erase. As you can see, it sees both of them because in the lower left corner it says formatting disk NVMe 0, NVMe 1. It's creating the boot pool. Okay, so it's done. We're going to reboot. Sorry, I'm still getting over a cold. Okay, so there it is. It's up and running now. And we're going to finish the setup through the web interface. So give me a moment and I'll be back. Okay, so now that we got everything installed, let's go ahead and get it configured. And as you can see, here is our login screen right here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get logged in. And as soon as I click into it to maybe, there we go. They've changed so much the way it logs in anymore. All right. Okay. So as you can see, here's the screen. All right. It's Electric Eel 2410.1, which is the latest. So what we're going to do is we got to create a pool. And next. And we're going to do a RAID Z1. And I really don't like the way that works. Alright, one. So we'll have a total raw capacity of 21.83 terabytes. I don't know why we have that. Oh, I know what that is. That's the flash drive. Pay no mind to this here. I forgot to remove it. Next. I do not have a Z-log, so we're going to skip that. Don't have a spare. We're going to skip that. Don't have that. Don't have that, so we're not going to worry about that. We're not going to worry about dedupe. Okay. So we're going to contents of all added disks will be erased. Never worked with this wizard before, so it was kind of new to me. Okay, so unused disks, that's that stupid flash drive. We're not going to worry about that. All right, so in the data set, so we're going to create a couple of data sets here. Add a data set, name, leave it as generic for right at the moment. Let's see, what's the advanced options? Photo. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, so this is where the VM's hard drives are going to reside. This is also where the ISOs, now that they can import OVA and OVF files, Proxmox, that's where that stuff's going to reside. So that's what that share is going to be. There. And then another data set we're going to create. Now, this is going to be for the backup server to back up to instead of itself. It's also going to be generic. And we don't want to under that, so we got to remove that data set. help if I could spell. Oh my god, are you freaking kidding me? You have to enter this whole thing. Oh. All right. So let's do it this way. Okay, so there we go. So now we have the two data sets. So and from what I've read, it seems NFS is faster. Don't know. So we are going to do that. I have to try to see past my monitor screen here. We'll save that. Start. Okay, and then we're going to add another one. What the fuck? Probably because of the word export. Try that. See if I get that warning. It is a data set, you fucking moron. Ugh. I don't know if it did it the other way or not. All right. So basically now those are exported. So the next thing after this, and if you guys want to see it, let me know in the comments down below. Which let me switch over to this here. I hate pop-ups. So anyway, basically the next thing I got to do is I got to connect the fiber card to the switch, get it set up on the VLAN for the storage, and then get Proxmox to see it from that VLAN, because I'm going to move all my storage devices over to that, and this way it'll at least protect that, keep that traffic off the main network, because right now it's hitting all the main network, where it also could be slowing down a lot of my stuff that I'm doing. I mean, I don't notice it personally, but like when I'm trying to stream movies and stuff, I want everything to run through the file server, which I know people probably say, yeah, but that's going to hinder it too. But, my wife tries to stream YouTube and stuff like that to her tablet while maybe I'm watching Plex, and all that 10G traffic from the file server, or from the storage units to the file server and then out, is all sitting on the main network because I didn't set it up right because, again, I'm still new to a lot of the VLAN concepts and everything. But that's the last part. It's now running. I just have to do some final port configurations and stuff like that. And, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. And as I always like to say, have a good day, guys. Take care and see you next time.